Good morning. I want to introduce to you someone who's important to our identity and witness in the world, and this is Stephen Porter. Stephen is the coordinator for Global Missions with the Cooperative Baptist Fellowship, and the CBF is our primary global mission partner in the world, and we're so excited, Stephen, that you're able to be here with us this weekend. We're putting him through the paces, meeting with a lot of different groups. He's just been working with young adults in Sunday school and had a conversation there. We had some community conversation last night, and then we're having a fellowship lunch and conversation with deacons and fellowship with the ordained and their spouses today, and then some more work with staff and residents tomorrow as well. So Stephen, thank you for all of that. There are some small brochures at all the entrances to the sanctuary today that I would encourage you to pick up. It's a beautiful, brief brochure that shows you and tells you about the work of CBF Global Missions. And Stephen, one of the things that's in here is an explanation of CBF's commitments in global missions. I know that there was a process that you went through to come up with these. Would you tell us, how did that happen?
Sure. Let me first say that Darren has an incredible fashion sense. Thank you so much for welcoming me here from CBF. I bring you greetings from everyone at CBF and Susie Painter, our coordinator. But yeah, the process, and I hope you'll take one of these, and if you really want a gold star, I'll give you a refrigerator magnet about this too afterward. You can see me. But our commitments are part of what we call our mission distinctives. We felt it was really, really important that we had a common language to talk about mission together in CBF so that we could all lean together in the same direction. And that includes not only our churches, that even includes our missionaries, our field personnel. I remember when I served, we would say something along these lines. CBF has people working in 30 countries and this many missionaries, and then we'd pause for a second. Now let me tell you about my projects. It was a very quick pivot. And so when I came as coordinator, I gave our field personnel homework. And I said, set aside an hour, and I want you to not think what you think I might want to hear, not aspirationally what you might want to say about your work, but I want you to look at your work and ask the question, what would you have to believe to do this work? So instead of working from theory and pushing down to practice, we looked at our practices and said, what theory or philosophy of missions embedded there? And so I thought we were going to get like those Venn diagrams, overlapping circles. We'd get a lot of principles, but there would be a few that everyone agreed on, and I was really wrong. And so we had a spread of 30 principles, and a dozen of those had double-digit frequency. So we began playing with that. And we realized that there were at least 3 groupings. And those 3 groupings we call our mission commitments. We had to name them, and we did a little wordsmithing. But in this, you'll see them outlined on a page 2 or 3.
You'll see here we have cultivating beloved community, bearing witness to Jesus Christ, and seeking transformational development. Beautiful words. Tell us a little bit more about what's behind each of those.
So practically, besides being a lovely Trinitarian structure, which was important to me as a theologian by training. When we talk about cultivating beloved community, we're borrowing Dr. King's language for the kingdom of God. Another Baptist from Atlanta, we could probably do worse than to learn from his example. But specifically, we talk about cultivating communities of hospitality and reconciliation that serve as signs, instruments, and foretastes of the kingdom of God. And so we work very diligently among our field personnel of breaking down barriers that traditionally divide people from each other. So that's the first. Second, bearing witness to Jesus Christ. I want it to be really, really clear at CBF, the best thing we have to offer to the world is Jesus. And frankly, that's why you're all here. We all want to follow Jesus in some way, or you probably wouldn't show up on a Sunday morning in a gathering like this. And so, but what was distinctive about that was our field personnel were adamant. That's not simply handing out tracts on a street corner. It's holistic. It's word and deed. And so we talk about our language, words that invite faith in Jesus and actions that embody the way of Jesus. Both of those things are important: the psychological, the social, the spiritual, the economic, the physical. The gospel message speaks to whole persons. And so the gospel we proclaim really addresses all of us. And then finally, seeking transformational development. Probably the most famous example of this that we have in CBF Life is Together for Hope. That's our rural poverty initiative that we've committed to 20 years in the 20 poorest counties, but that keeps kind of growing because the problems don't magically go away. But it's an asset-based community development focus. So we use language there that's very specific, that we want to seek to transform systems that suppress the capacities of individuals and entire communities by claiming, recognizing, celebrating the gifts that God has given all people and places. And practically, that works out on a local level to really affirming people where they are rather than having needs-based approaches that says, we're going to come in and fix you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Stephen. And just again to commend to you this little brochure. Also on Wilshire's Facebook page, we've posted this weekend some video that will show some of our CBF field personnel and help you understand the work they're doing, all of which is supported by our unified budget. In many churches, many CBF churches take up a special collection each year for the offering for global missions. The offering for global missions and our regular support of CBF are all rolled into our unified budget. So just remember that when you give to the unified budget, you're not just giving to things that happen here in this building, but a substantial part of that does go to support CBF's global missions work guided by these three commitments. And we invite you to learn more on the web as well. Thank you so much, Stephen.
Thank you.